120 Minutes. That was Comida with Cul-de-sac. Before I leave you tonight, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the history of the legendary and highly influential bassist Mike Watt. Now, in order to understand the impact that Mike Watt has had on today's music and artists, it's necessary to trace his career's history, beginning with the Minutemen. Now, called the most adventurous hardcore punk band, the Minutemen formed in 1979 in the working-class town of San Pedro, California. Now, the trio, which consisted of Watt on bass and vocals, childhood friend D. Boone on guitar and vocals, and George Hurley on drums, earned their name because almost all of their songs had running times of under a minute. Now, despite their brevity, the Minutemen knew how to pack all different kinds of music into their songs, including funk, free jazz, blues, folk, and punk. They were the second band following Black Flag to record on the indie punk label SST in 1980 when they released their 7-inch Paranoid Time EP. The EP featured songs like Paranoid Chant and provided both Watt and Boone an opportunity to rant their free-form leftist politics over their rhythm and what Watt called their spiels. Now, the Minutemen's full-length debut, The Punchline, was more complex lyrically and musically, refraining from traditional song structures. The tunes on the album were held together by virtue of their emotional and musical intensity. Now, the two records that followed in 1983, What Makes a Man Start Fires and Buzz or How Under the Influence of Heat, found the Minutemen throwing jazz and blues into the musical blender, while the so-called spiels gained in poetic power. And 1984's Double Nickels on the Dime packed 45 tracks onto 4 sides of vinyl. It's considered a classic by many, with songs like Political Song from Michael Jackson to sing, and really cool covers of Van Halen's Ain't Talking About Love and Steely Dan's Dr. Wu. Now, although now the songs often ventured above a minute in length, they retained their original energy, including quick bass riffs infused with funky jazzy guitars. Ironically, the Minutemen's last album, Three-Way Tie for Last, was released the same week of guitarist D. Boone's tragic fatal van accident. Surviving Minutemen then released the Post Mortem Ballot Result, compiled from outtakes, radio appearance, and other unreleased material. Not wanting to replace D. Boone, the distraught Watt and Hurley had decided to call it quits, until Ed Crawford, a serious Minutemen fan and guitarist from Ohio, approached them and convinced them to begin a new project. This led to the formation of an almost equally influential band, Firehose. Firehose constructed longer songs than the Minutemen, with a punk-pop-funk feel, due largely to Crawford's more restrained guitar work and smoother vocals. 1986's Raging Full On and 87's Iffin were fantastic add-ons to what the Minutemen began. Songs like Brave Captain, the video for which we saw earlier in the show, and Me, You, and Remembering were highlights. By 1989's From Ohio, Crawford's guitar work and vocals had matured and were more at home with Watt's signature thumping and popping bass lines on tunes like The Beautiful Time With You. From 1991's Flying the Flannel emerged the trio's most successful song, a graceful cover of Daniel Johnston's Walking the Cow. Now, the album also included a tribute to Watt's blue-collar hometown on O'er the Town of Pedro. After Firehose's last LP, 1993's Mr. Machinery Operator, Mike Watt recruited an alternative rock who's who to record his impressive solo debut, Ball Hog or Tugboat, with the likes of guests like Eddie Vedder, Evan Dando, Mike D, Dave Grohl, Flea, and many others turning up on the album. Watt proved that he'd definitely been a profound influence on rock music of the 90s. And he's also, of course, played with Porno for Pyros and was here doing 120 Minutes with him. Also impressive was Watt's most recent solo effort, 1997's Contemplating the Engine Room. We're going to leave you tonight with a special 120 Minutes performance of Big Train from Mike Watt. This was recorded in our studio in May of 1995 and was originally from his first solo release, 1994's Ball Hog or Tugboat. Hope you enjoy it. I'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll be off for Labor Day. My special guest will be Rob Zombie when we return. For 120 Minutes, I'm Matt Pinfield. Good night. Have a great week.
Our records are more like progress reports of the way we feel. They're not timeless. They're not museum pieces or anything like this. It's like, oh, this is how we felt this 6 months, and then we give you another one. We are not trying to write the song or the album. We're trying to show people we're alive, and that's about it.
Big train,